Good evening, everybody. It's Dana Brickman. We are going to be talking about, what are we talking about tonight? Back to school topics. And so I want to share with you some thoughts and some oils and some things that you can do that may help give your children, yourself, teachers, a little bit of support during this transitional time of getting everybody back to school. I will tell you, I am also recording this on Zoom. That is, I really like the Zoom platform, so I'm hoping you guys will start to join me over there because it will allow you to see the PowerPoints that I'm doing, and they've got some really great information. So feel free to go to the events on the Essential Believer page and register tonight or tomorrow, and I will email you a copy of the Zoom. I will share with you that my intention is to record them to the cloud so that you'll be able to get a link to watch it just over the internet. I have limited storage space without upgrading this account, so they're basically going to live there for maybe 3 to 5 days. They'll then get downloaded and put on a private YouTube location so that I have them for archive purposes to use at a later time. So unfortunately, I found this out just a little while ago, my cloud storage is almost full, so tonight's is going to go direct to YouTube, but you can still ask me to email you the link to that. So go register and I will get a copy of the presentation with the PowerPoint out to you. So diving into this, I want to just share a couple of considerations and safety tips that I want to make sure everybody understands, especially as we're starting to use oils with children. Never put essential oils into or directly around the eyes or the eyelids or under the eyes. Never ever do that. If something happens and you wind up with oil there or in your eyes, don't use water to flush it out. You need to use a carrier oil. Think coconut oil, avocado oil, vegetable oil, grapeseed oil, some carrier oil that will actually help soothe and calm and slow down the absorption of the essential oil. You're really not going to get it out per se. You can help flush it a bit, but water would actually intensify the effects versus adding any soothing element. So stay away from the eyes. If it does get there, use a carrier. If you are trying to do something and support around the eye area, always, always, always use a carrier oil and always dilute, especially in those areas. If we're working with the ears, and this is true for children, dogs, and adults alike, never start dropping oils directly down into the ear. You can use like a cotton swab or a cotton pad, or just your finger in a carrier oil, right, and work on the outer perimeters of your ear, but never drop oils down into the ear canal. If you're ever working with the little babies, little dogs, always think about dilution carrier oil support. Less is more. Less is always more, and it only takes little bits, right? And so if we're working with very young children, toddler size, preschool kind of children, then make sure that you are diluting, using carrier oils appropriately. If you are looking to ingest oils, there are a number of the Young Living products that have been approved in the Vitality line. That means the FDA has granted them a status called GRAS. It stands for generally regarded as safe to ingest. And we want you to not ever do that with oils that are not known to be pure. So you hear me talk all the time about the seed to seal process and knowing where the seed begins, the growth, the process of growing, the harvest and the bottling and so on. And we trust that with Young Living, but I can't tell you that we trust that with all other brands. When you are using a citrus oil, think lemon, tangerine, citrus fresh, orange. When you are using them, make sure that when you go out into the sun, that you, well, let me rephrase that. Don't go out into the sun if you're applying those topically, right? They can be photosensitive and create a burn more quickly than you might have otherwise if those areas of skin are exposed to the sun. If you are drinking, adding lemon, for example, to your drinking water, which is encouraged to do for keeping things sort of cleansed and moving and healthy, make sure that you're using glass or stainless steel cups or bottling solutions. Ceramic would also be okay. But if you start to use styrofoam, you'll notice that because the styrofoam is a petroleum-based product, that the essential oil will actually cause that to disintegrate. It doesn't mean the oil's unhealthy. It means the bottle in which, or the cup in which it's going in, is not suitable for essential oils. Okay? We've covered a number of times what essential oils are. We know that they are the plants, the leaves, the resins, the roots, the fruits of plants that are all around us. There are many, many, many that can be leveraged to gain essential oils, and each of them would have its own properties of using for some purpose in our wellness plan. So it is a plant-based material that basically goes into our body, can affect every cell of our body. There are essential oils that will help support every system that we have, from our skeletal, muscular systems to the cells in our body, hormones, digestion, joints. I think I mentioned hormones, our respiratory system, our cardiovascular system, and so on. So if you can name a system in the body that needs support, there are oils and oil-based supplements that will help you do that. Okay, so let's dive in a little bit to the whole back to school topic. You can go learn a little bit more about Young Living and the Seed to Seal and what essential oils are from some of the previous videos if you like, and if you have questions about, hey, leave him alone. If you have questions about that, you can always touch base with me and I'll help you. So let's think about getting kids back to school, right? One of the first things that you may be trying to figure out is getting your children back on a sleep routine. So I'll share these slides with you. So again, if you're watching now or later on the live, Facebook Live, you're not able to see the PowerPoint, but if you'll send me a message, an email, sign up for the event itself, I'll get a copy emailed out to you for review. So in the summer, I know certainly with family members who have young children, the sleep cycle is often interrupted. They are up later at night, they get out of bed later in the morning, and now we're trying to get everybody to go back to school and get on a regular rhythm of sleep and wake times. So this chart is intended to help give you a guide as to basically on the average age of your child, how many hours should they be sleeping. And we know that it can be difficult for that to happen, right? And sometimes we talk about kids sort of just being amped up, they're energized. Even for us as adults, we can often have things happening in our mind that cause interruption. It causes us to keep thinking about things that just don't let us settle and let us get calmed down. So there are some oils that will help you do that. There were some oils that will help you introduce, I'm trying to stay compliant, making sure I'm not saying the wrong words. There are things that we can do that will help aid the relaxation and the settling down in preparation to go to sleep. This chart will show you in general for a teenager kind of how melatonin works in the body, right? So melatonin is something that I used to use a fair amount of myself. I offered it to some of the dogs that were in for foster care or even in for training some years ago. And it's a natural thing. Our body produces it naturally. But now I'm looking at better alternatives of ways that I can support sort of taking the edge off, keeping dogs and myself and others calm when it's necessary. We know that when we are struggling to get enough sleep, that we are affecting our brain's ability to learn new information. It can lead us to challenge with some emotional issues like depression or even aggression. So think anger, frustration, attitude. I see it. I have felt it. I have lived it. I know when I don't get enough sleep or enough food, I am a grumpy soul. So there are things that we can do that will help address. To remember to turn off or to put my phone in airplane mode the next time I do a Facebook Live. So anyway, you get an idea here of concentration issues, behavioral learning challenges, being able to keep focus, to keep our attention. We get overactive and sometimes we show out, right? We show out with a little attitude, and sleep deprivation can cause a lot of problems. So think the sleepy driver, right? We now know, we keep hearing about the issues that can cause on the roads. It's akin to somebody who's drinking and driving. It's akin to being distracted and texting while driving and having some severe outcomes for being under not well rested, not well slept, right? It is especially hazardous for our teenagers. We know that they are struggling to drive well anyway. They're just sort of getting things under control with the driving and learning and trying to stay on top of that. But we also know that they're inexperienced, and then you add to that an inability to be alert because you've got sleep issues or focus issues, and there can be some significant issues there. Okay, so remind your teenagers, this is sort of a public service announcement, remind your teenagers about the need for a good night's sleep and what to do should they feel fatigue during their outings behind the wheel. So again, here we are looking to try and get our kids ready for back to school and a good night's sleep. When you wake them up in the morning, open the blinds. Let that sunshine start rolling in. At night, make sure we're turning off any added lights around them. You've heard people talk about these blue lights or amber lights depending on the time of the day. What you'll see with computers and phones and technology lights is that it's producing these blue lights that can create our inability to start making that melatonin as we need to be unwinding from the day and settling down for night. Wake up at the same time every day. I actually naturally do this now. When I worked at Microsoft, that was never the case. I was up at all sorts of early hours to catch airplanes or head off to meetings. And even though my schedule now is very different than it used to be, I can pretty much bank on waking up at the same time. My little dogs are little alarm clocks, and they will help wake me up as well. So if you have yourself or your children who are having a difficult time getting to a good night's rest, here are a few essential oils and supplements that are based with essential oils that would be beneficial. Lavender is always good. Some people respond to lavender less well than others, but generally speaking, lavender is a calming oil. For our very young kids and toddlers, there is a pre-done blend, pre-diluted, if you will, pre-customized for that age group called Sleepy Eyes. It is a blend of oils that is intended to help begin that calming and that restful night's experience. Rutavala is another. We just got a roll-on of Rutavala in the incentives last month. Rub it on your feet, and people, listen, lights out. Lot of people blend cedarwood, vetiver, and lavender together in the diffuser as we're putting everyone to sleep for the night. And it works for your kids, it works for yourself, it even works for our animals. Vetiver is one of those interesting oils that helps create focus. Cedarwood helps create focus. And so what happens is, if you're like I used to be, you'd settle down and then the mind starts going, I've got to do these 75 things tomorrow. Oh my God, I forgot all of these things. I'm a little worried about how I'm going to get all of this stuff done next week. And your mind is just sort of racing and thinking about too many things to actually start to relax into it. Vetiver helps us do that. Vetiver and cedarwood together really help to create a nice blend of focus and allowing the brain to sort of get settled and to do the things that it needs to do, even if that's homework, right? So it kind of has a dual purpose in calming the mind, getting it focused, and allowing it to start doing the relaxation work that we need to do. Peace and Calming is another great relaxation blend. I use it on people and dogs all the time. There is a supplement called Sleep Essence. So if you're less into the oils and the diffusion and the sort of dosing them on yourself, then Sleep Essence is something that you could take by mouth. It's a supplement, like a capsule, that you could take before bedtime and help your body from the insides, so to speak. Okay. Other options include, so we were talking about waking up, and we need to get ourselves alert now. So whether we got a good night's sleep or not, now we got to get up and go to work. We've got to get energized and ready for the day. There is a Morning Start bath gel that is very citrus-like, very orange, tangerine-like, and it is very refreshing to get up and get moving with the morning. Other oils that contribute to that would be peppermint, black pepper, basil, citrus fresh, and rosemary. I was diffusing citrus fresh this afternoon. I knew I needed to sit down and do some paperwork and clean my house as well, so I loaded up the diffuser with some citrus fresh. I put some oil called Energy on me, and I knocked it out. And I mean, really, I can tell you that I believe that it works. I did not have that, I've just eaten a big salad for lunch, and now I've got I need to go crash and take a nap for a little while. I was productive. I was actually working through those things. So you can use the shower gel. You could apply this as a diffuser in the morning while the kids are having breakfast. You might even put a drop in your hands and inhale, or put a couple of drops on them as appropriate. Other things to think about would include the Ninja Red. I don't know how many of you have ever tried that, but I want you to look into it. You actually get a couple of samples if you buy the starter kit for the essential oils, but there's also a starter kit that's nothing but Ninja Red. And Ninja Red is an extremely powerful antioxidant drink. It's made from wolfberries. And so generally speaking, you take a couple of shots, and I actually use a little shot glass, which is about 1.5 ounces a couple of times a day. It is designed to help increase our energy levels, to keep cellular function normal, and help really just address overall wellness. It is something that adds an immunity boost to our body systems. It's healthy and helpful for humans, children, even our pets, dogs, horses, cows, and so on. We did an iTovi scan on my cousin's grandchildren the other day, and one of them, one of the things it scanned for and recommended for her was this Ninja Red drink. So I gave them a couple of samples to try, and the children loved it. They're like, oh my goodness, this is kind of like a little slushy thing, and they really like the taste. I'll be very candid with you. When I got my starter kit a few years ago, I let my samples expire because I was afraid to try it. I thought that's going to be some nasty stuff. And now I buy it in the big bottles and drink it pretty much every day. The wolfberry that this is made out of is defined as a superfruit. It actually has a significant amount of fiber in it. It contains lutein, zeaxanthin, which I don't pronounce well, and carotenoids, which are important to our vision. And I wear reading glasses, right? I'm get to that age where I've been wearing them for a while. But I can tell you, and I swear y'all, I'm not making this stuff up, I have felt like that when I don't have them on and I'm looking at things that are not reading material, that it's better. And I believe that it's partly because I'm drinking this stuff. So I'm doing a number of supplements and dietary changes and things that go with that, but I think it helps. I really do. I really do believe it helps, which is why I want to share and teach all of you what I'm learning about this stuff. Okay, so look into wolfberries, and the best way I know to get a wolfberry, some people, it's also known as the goji berry, you may have heard of that, is from our Ninja Red product. Okay? Munchkin, quit growling at Howie. Leave him alone. All right. So, where are we? Oils like orange, yuzu, tangerine, lemon, think citrus, right? They too are antioxidants. They contain, it's called D-limonene, which is an important marker for bioactivity. It means that that oil really has some energy and some benefit to us. It's not just lemon juice that would not have the same molecular energy, get us going kind of thing, right? It's not just the flavor, it actually has activity to it. My aromatherapy teacher has trademarked a term called biologically active. So biologically active essential oils. And I can tell you that she uses only Young Living products in her veterinarian practice, and she's been doing this for 25 years. And so that's the kind of thing that we're talking about. So when you think about adding some citrus to your water, for example, or to your kids' water, it helps maintain normal cellular regeneration. So our cells are always working and trying to keep themselves healthy and get rid of unhealthy ones, right? So some of these citrus oils can help do that and help us keep a focus on the systems of our body and their normal function. Okay? All right, I'm going to change gears just a little bit. So I don't know how many of you drink things like Red Bull or the Monster drinks or those power drinks that everybody drinks. There's even some shot drinks where you're supposed to get all this boost of energy. And while not all of it is caffeine, some of them, I think it's called taurine, is caffeine-like but not caffeine. There's a product with Young Living called Nitro, Ninja Nitro, which comes in a little tube. It is pretty much a pre-measured shot. It supports alertness. It is that perk you up, get you through the afternoon, get over the hump of, whew, I've just had a big lunch, or these meetings are wearing me out, or oh my God, I got to do my homework and I'm exhausted. These things work, and they don't have sugar and they don't have caffeine in them. They do have D-ribose, Korean ginseng, and a green tea extract, but they will help you with energy and alertness and what might be described as cognitive fitness. So try those. I have some. If you're interested, I'll send you one to give it a shot. There is also an energy drink that is a canned beverage that also has the wolfberry in it. It also has sparkling water, pear, blackberry juices. It even has a little lime and some black pepper. So it too is called Ninja Zing, Z-Y-N-G. And it's one of those things that will help give you some vitamins and give you it actually has 35 milligrams of natural caffeine in it. It's only 35 calories a can, and it will give you one of those energy boosts as well, and yet be significantly more healthy than some of the power drinks that you might be buying at the convenience store. Okay. There is also protein powder, and so I'm trying really hard to use a protein powder with some fresh berries, some spinach and honey and whatnot to make myself lunch. And so there is this protein powder that's available from Young Living that you can use for your drinks, for kids' drinks, for teachers who are trying to find a way to get some added protein into the day. It's only 120 calories for the portion that you need to make your beverage. It comes out to about $3.60 per beverage. So that's pretty much cheaper than you can go to the fast food store on your way to school. And it's certainly much healthier. It comes in vanilla and chocolate. And I'll tell you, I have, in the last 2 years, bought protein powders at the GNC, for example. And I get nothing out of that but the protein powder. If I'm buying these products from myself, I'm getting my rewards and my points back that I can use to repurchase consumable products or other things that I need to use. So just be aware of that. When you think, oh, these things feel really expensive, when you think about when you buy things like this, whether it's oil or some of these other products, you can earn up to 25% of your spending back in credits that you can then use for other purchases. Okay? I have some recipes. I won't read them here, but again, if you're interested in seeing this PowerPoint presentation, I will email this out to you guys so that you have those links. And I'm saying this because right now there's nobody on the Zoom call. So I'll just move through this and wait for you guys to request it. So let's talk about a few more oils. So Stress Away comes in the starter kit, but it also comes in a roller bottle. It's about the size of a lipstick tube, and it has a little roller filament on it. So you could easily put it in your kids' backpack or their dance bag or their sports bag. And if they're, headed into a test or tryouts or any of that kind of stuff, and they're a little predisposed to some stressful feelings, this is something that they can roll a little bit on, roll it on their neck, roll it on their wrist, take a big, deep inhale of that, and ideally give them some support to help manage through those moments. Another oil, we've never talked about this one before, is called Gathering. And it is to help overcome chaotic energy of everyday life. We all have chaos, right? Okay, Deborah, just send me your email and I'll make sure that you get it, or just register for the Zoom and I'll send you a copy of that. So Gathering, if we think about, and y'all, I live alone and my house feels chaotic sometimes because there are dogs coming and going and clients coming and going, and there's just a variety of things. So for those of you who are trying to manage schedules of getting the kids to school, getting them to dance class or to football practice or cheerleading, whatever those things are, there's chaos. We all know that it's there. This oil will help you sort of go, whew, let me figure this out. Let me get a plan. Let me get rolling. These oils are not in, some of them you can certainly use in the moment, right? So it's not like you have to just use doses and doses and doses of this and go, okay, I got to use this particular one every day. There are some that I reach for based on what's going on in the moment. Just like today I told you, I knew I needed to churn through the afternoon's activities, and energy was the oil that I felt I needed. So think about Gathering as one that can give you some structure in the chaos. Peace and Calming, we've talked about a lot. On this slide, it's Peace and Calming 2 is what's referenced. And this is actually a slide that I have shared from another Young Living member. Peace and Calming is back in stock and has been for a number of months. But Peace and Calming is intended to help us settle down. It smells super great. Overcome things that are creating frustration. Overcome that chaos again, and just sort of go, okay, I can breathe through this. I can just relax. I can be calm. I can let all this noise and this nonsense just go away, and I can just chill for a few minutes. I can just be okay. All right. So we know that sending our kids back to school is stressful for them, right? Football tryouts are stressful. Dance competition, stacks of homework, and it's stressful for the teachers as well. It's stressful for the parents as well. So a couple of oils that benefit those things might be Surrender. You all have heard me talk about this in the dog training side. Surrender the fact that you won't let go. Surrender the things that you're holding on to, right? It also has the benefit in these situations of saying, don't be inhibited. Don't hold yourself back. Don't let all these other things control you or limit your potential. Be open to the experience and the process and be in the moment and go after your goals. So surrender to the things that are holding you back, those things that won't let you reach that potential, right? And so, but then that brings me to another oil. There's one called Your Highest Potential, which is one of my favorites. So if you've got somebody who, if they're struggling with control or feeling inhibited or feeling like I can't do this, there are oils that help support those opportunities. Release, you've heard me talk about this as well, facilitates the ability to let go of anger and frustration. Again, let all that noise go. Let the things that we're holding on to about ourselves or the situations, let that go and quit harboring those feelings. Acceptance would be a beautiful one for children who are maybe going to a new school, a new teacher area, right? Leaving mama and saying it's hard to make friends, right? It's hard to be included. I'm not in the groups. I don't feel like I'm making connections with people, or this change is just too overwhelming. Acceptance can be the oil that helps them start to feel and believe that they can be accepted, that they can be included, and encouraged to be who they are, to go after the things that they want to go, and to trust those experiences as well. Okay. Transformation, another one you've heard me talk about before in the animal space. In the human, in the kid space, for example, when I say kids, I'm talking school age kids, even up to young adults, right? Transformation would be about empowering us to not have negative beliefs, but to be positive, to be uplifted, to be convinced, or to start to believe that we can go be something more, that we can try, that we can learn, that we can and go for, sort of go for the gusto. All right, so let's talk a little bit about our athletes, right? We've got kids that are going to be trying gymnastics for the first time. They're going to their little dance schools for the first time. Or you've got the star football player, star tennis player, star golfer, star cheerleader, whatever. We all know that they then start to have some challenges with muscles and strain, and the workout can be really hard for the athlete. Cool Azul is a cream, a pain relief cream that can help with that. So think those minor muscle wear and tear, the joints are a little achy, we've bruised something, we've pulled something. Cool Azul, and I use it on my calves all the time after I've been out training. My calves are one of the areas that start to hurt me the worst, and Cool Azul rubbed on those areas provides great relief. It is cooling because it has wintergreen in it, but it is sort of diluted's not really the word I'm looking for, but it's balanced. That's what it's balanced to make sure that it works appropriately and isn't overpowering. Okay. You may have a kid that's going and, wearing those heavy backpacks for the first time, and they come home and say, you know what, my shoulders are hurting. My back is starting to hurt, and my goodness, we need to help them with the right techniques of the backpacks and the sports that they're learning and that sort of thing. But again, Cool Azul is a product that may help with that. Others would be Ortho Ease, Ortho Sport. They come in pump bottles. They have a carrier oil in them. It's a pre-done, think massage oil, right? So you go to the massage therapist and they pump out some oil, and then they start massaging and using that. In essence, that's what these are. There's also that roll-on, again, one called Deep Relief. And again, it comes in a little lipstick-sized bottle with a roller filament on it, and you can just sort of rub on the spots. You could send it to school with them. So it would be something that they might be able to leverage in their backpack. And then peppermint is also good for these kinds of things as well. Now, let's talk about the study, right? We got homework to do. and it's true for those of us who have, work to do at our desk or projects that we're working on. We all sometimes need a little help to get through that afternoon. I've already mentioned to you that today for me was Energy. Energy is an oil I think I got it for free about 2 months ago in one of the incentive plans, and it's fantastic. Another oil is called Brain Power. So Brain Power is rich in sesquiterpenes, so think those cells that hit our limbic system and all, and keeping us focused, keeping us alert and attentive and going, I can focus, I can do these things. Clarity is another. So when things are complex or complicated and you really need to get clarity around decisions that you're making or solving problems and things of that nature, clarity is a great oil to use as well. There is a blend called Common Sense, and it was joked around election time that a lot of people really needed to leverage the common sense. Okay, and then there is a Super B as in ABC, right? Super B, a supplement, a multivitamin supplement to help with getting more vitamin B into our body. So vitamin B in this case assists in maintaining healthy energy levels, supports the mood, the cardiovascular system, and cognitive function. MindWise I love MindWise. So it is a liquid in a bottle. It supports memory. It supports normal heart function. It has pomegranate juice in it, acai puri, has vitamin D3 in it, helps with cognitive function, helps with normal brain function. This oil, I shouldn't call it an oil, it's a liquid, it's a dietary supplement. It has been used in people who have had brain trauma and provided benefit in those areas as well. It contains omega-3 fatty acids. So this is, if you're already taking something that has omega-3 in it, or taking vitamin D, or taking turmeric, for example, this might be the supplement that replaces all of that for you or the kids, the geriatrics in your family, that sort of thing. I love the taste. It's pomegranate based, where the Ninja is wolfberry. They do different things, really, but I love the MindWise. So let me tell you a little bit about purification oil. Purification also comes in the starter kit. It is going to make things smell so much better. So again, think that athlete that's coming home with stinky shoes and stinky gym clothes, and you're like, I don't even know how to freshen this stuff up. Adding a drop or two to your laundry or to the dryer balls. Don't use dryer sheets. Now, we've been talking about toxic-free homes. And I don't know that I've covered dryer sheets explicitly, but go look them up. Remember, we're talking about the app from ewg.org and the Think Dirty app. Go look up your products and you'll start to realize that these are things you don't want your family exposed to. But the wool dryer balls and starting to add a drop or two of your favorite essential oil will help with help provide the benefits of what a dryer sheet would otherwise do, but do it naturally. Okay, you can make a little spray bottle of purification and send to your kids to spray in their locker, in their gym bag, in their dance shoes, any of that kind of stuff, and help make things smell better. You can use it for your fabric fresheners, right? This has been a couple of years ago, but one of the girls who worked for me somehow managed to spill fish oil in her laundry basket. So all of her clothes just were horrible. And she washed them and she washed them and she washed them, and she said, I can't get the smell out. I'm going to have to throw everything away. And I said, take the bottle of purification home, use a couple of drops in your wash and a couple of drops in the dryer, and let's see what happens. The smell completely vanished. So that was her turning point to buy her own starter kit. So there's a lot of options for purification. It also works for bee stings to help repel bugs. It's just one of those universal, works for a lot of things oils. We talk a lot about Thieves and Thieves Cleaner and mouthwash and hand purifier and toothpaste and veggie spray and dish soap and laundry soap. If you are on your journey to try and eliminate as many toxins as you can from your family, the place to start is in your kitchen, your laundry, and your bathrooms. And Thieves Cleaning Products is the way to do that. So if you want more information on that, let me know. Ways in which you can start to support your kids with the oils. We've talked a lot about those roller filaments and the bottles that come that way. We just talked about taking a little spray bottle to keep in their locker or their gym bag. If they, I'll, sorry, my brain just geared up on me. You could send a little bottle of Thieves spray, and it helps with things that the free writing stuff that is being shared around the school, right? And they can spray that on their desk, they can spray that in their locker, they can take a hand purifier of Thieves to school to just, help keep things more of an immunity boost, immunity support. You can send a nice gift for some of the kids, might be, especially the older girls, might be a piece of the diffuser jewelry, right? That has, they're really pretty. They're necklaces, they are diffusers. You put a little oil in it, and as they move throughout the day, they're getting a little bit of diffusion about those oils. We've talked about the Ninja products, Ninja Red, Ninja Nitro, Ninja Zing, all help with immunity, all help with energy. And we talked a little bit about purification for the athletic bags and the dance bags and that sort of thing. So there's tons of ways, tons and tons and tons of ways to leverage the essential oils that are available. And really the thing is, I always tell people, think about the starter kit. It's going to get you basically, so there's 11 oils in there, a sample or two of Ninja Red and a diffuser and a couple of other things, right? There's some sample packs that they could put in a gym bag and take to school as well. But where was I going with that? Oh, the 11 oils, they would get you off to a really great start to those systems of the body that I was talking about. And then if you think, my kid's really struggling in an emotional area or in a fitness area, then that's where you target sort of your goals of trying to bring in a collection of stuff. And that's what I did. I didn't go out and say, all right, I'm just going to buy randomly. I'm like, this is the area of my life that I want to target first, and start working on that and start using the oils, whether it's daily or as needed, depending on those situations. That's how I started building my collection. And when I then would offset consumable products I was already buying, so think vitamins, think CoQ10, for example, think shampoo, think rather than buying Ben Gay, for example, now you're buying Cool Azul, and you're buying it from yourself, you're getting up to 25% back, and it just starts to really make a whole lot of sense. So you have to get a little bit strategic about some of this stuff and think about what it is you want to do, what are you going to use it for, and really what's your priorities. And then you can move your way forward, and I'm happy to help any of you do that. So, are there any questions? Anybody have any questions about anything tonight? Okay. So I have a couple of things that it'll probably be tomorrow before I get anything mailed out to everybody. But I have a couple of things that I will share with you guys. My screen sharing is paused. I don't want to pause it. Ruh-roh, what did I do? There we go. Anyway, I'll share these things with you, what the oils are, what their purpose would be, and how you could use them for yourself, your children, school teachers. I know a lot of school teachers who, they can't necessarily plug in a diffuser and have things going, but they will put peppermint on their desk, in a necklace diffuser that they wear, and things like that. And peppermint will help with focus. So think the kids that are taking tests and there's peppermint sort of in that room, it helps with clarity and focus. When you've got sort of this crazy disruptive or that late afternoon slump, there are things that they can bring out into the room. Again, not necessarily something that plugs in electronically, but there are ways in which you can have those scents and those benefits available. The oils are not going to create allergic reactions. There's nothing synthetic in them. And generally speaking, people who say, oh, I can't smell those fragrances, or I can't deal with those fragrances, have never really tried the pure products. There's some synthetic element that is what's causing those reactions. So I get that teachers have to be careful about what they're doing, and what's available to the students in the room and that sort of thing. But I've seen tremendous benefits by using the essential oils in those classrooms. Okay, friends, if there's nothing more tonight, feel free to ask me questions, even if you want to post them on the Facebook group or send them to me. Otherwise, I'm happy to try and give you some help. I hope this was helpful to give you some insight as to there is something available for even nutrition, which we really didn't talk about, but from getting a good night's sleep to really getting some serious concentration on the tests that they're preparing for, or overcoming the stress of having to go to tryouts or not feeling included in the groups and that sort of thing. There's ways that we can support the kids, the moms, the dads, the brothers and the sisters, and the teachers alike, and do that naturally and start eliminating some of these toxins from the home. We all know that as we're going back to school, they are going to be bringing home stuff on their backpack, on their clothes, on their hands. You've seen the commercials where it looks like the piano keyboards are stuck to their hands, and it's like, what you touch, I've touched, right? And the Thieves Cleaner, the Thieves Purification, all of that beneficial to help keep that stuff out of your house. So super helpful. If you're looking at nothing else, look at Thieves. If you're thinking about the end of the day and your kid comes home and they're telling you they've got tension in the neck or tension in their head, peppermint is a great oil to diffuse, maybe to even rub on their shoulders with one of those carrier oils and help them. And you don't have to use other, again, trying to stay compliant, you don't have to use products that have other unnatural ingredients in them. So lots of opportunity to do these easy changes, really easy changes to bring more natural wellness to your family. So I'm signing off. Call me if you need me, message me if you need me, and we'll see you. I'm taking vacation next week, so I don't know that I'll do a lot of Facebook Lives, but we're going to get a streamlined process. The Facebook Live starting the next round will only be in the groups. They're not going to be live on this page. They're going to be either in the people group or the dog group. And so join into those groups and start learning more. Talk to you guys soon.